This is News Hour from the BBC. For a short time last Friday, Edward Archbold was delighted. He'd won the competition he'd entered at the reptile shop in Deerfield Beach, Florida. But then, 32-year-old Mr. Archbold fell ill and died. The question, waiting to be answered by pathologists, is whether it had anything to do with the contest he'd entered, where he'd had to eat dozens of live cockroaches and worms. Danny Mendez from Urban Jungles Radio hosted the event, a first for the Ben Siegel Reptile Store, and he joins us on the line now. Danny, just take us through the rules of this competition.
Sure. The basic rules were that there were several qualifying rounds which allowed you to compete for one of three prizes, which came in the form of these beautiful ball pythons, and they were valued anywhere from $250 all the way up to $1,000 US. Essentially, you had to qualify to compete. You would compete accordingly for the animals, which basically involved eating either mealworms, their slightly larger cousins, the superworms, crickets, hornworms, and also ultimately large discoid cockroaches, which go about 3 inches long and are native to South America.
And these were live animals?
Yes, these are live animals that are specifically bred for the reptile and exotic animal industry. These are animals that are commonly sold as feeder items for lizards and invertebrate pets.
I've heard, indeed, I've eaten fried crickets. Never a live insect, though.
Really, it comes down to just about any food item. Honestly, I would feel much more comfortable probably eating a cricket or mealworm compared to some of the other foods that are available regionally around here. So it really comes down to a matter of taste. They can be eaten raw or cooked.
How are the other competitors?
All of the other competitors are completely fine. There were about 30 competitors in total, and none of the other ones have gotten sick.
As I say, we don't know what happened to Mr. Archbold, but do you know how much he ate in order to win?
I don't know exactly how much he ate, but Mr. Archbold competed in a couple of rounds, so he had, a little bit of everything. I would say a little bit of crickets, a little bit of superworms, mealworms, hornworms, and roaches ultimately.
Did the other contestants sort of tuck in with gusto, or were they absolutely revolted as they were crunching through cockroaches?
It was probably a combination of both, but for the most part, all of the contestants displayed an incredible enthusiasm for the contest. Everybody was really happy to be there and thoroughly enjoying themselves, as were the members of the audience.
Danny Mendez from Urban Jungles Radio, thank you very much for that.